Good morning, friends. I'm Amy and I run Alchemilla Hospital and SilentHillCommunity.com, and today I'll be giving you a tour of Nowhere with some of the maps I've made and highlighting each area that Harry is in on an overlaid mini-map. I'll be calling the first floor hall the main hall, and that will be our home base here. Just as there was an elevator and warp-type bathroom door in the school, there are pinkish double doors here, which will warp you to the second floor. And keep that in mind when you're trying to make sense of the layouts and elevators. I'll also be putting up my speed guide again on the site, and the maps can be used with reference with or without that. And I will put links for these in the description of the video. I also have cheat sheets up for the puzzle solutions if you want those. Okay, so we're starting from the elevator where you start, where you come into the level after meeting Lisa. So now our back's to the elevator, and this is going to be a bathroom, and that's where you use the pliers to get the key. So I'm just going to be following along the map as I'm talking about this, and this is the birdcage room. So once you get the birdcage key from 3F, you use it on the cage there. And look at the highlighted map to see where I'm going. And we're gonna skip Fayleg for a minute here, because that's bigger, and this is just the antique shop where you save, where you use the Stone of Time, etc. And I'll be calling this the main hallway. This is the first floor main hallway. Now that door will warp you up to 2F, so we're going to ignore that for right now. And likewise with Ophiel. Because I always go down to the basement first, so that's the last door. The basement brings you to a classroom with one desk, and then another room where you get the tools. You get pliers and a screwdriver to be used on the faucet and the Aeratron key. So I always do the basement first before the bathroom, and then you can forget about the basement once you get the tools down there. And then the Haggith door brings you to the elevator. But we'll get to that again in a minute. This is the Ophiel door. And that's where you do the Grim Reaper's puzzle. Alert, there's Lisa's diary after you meet her. It shows up, not before. And then this is the morgue. You get the Amulet of Solomon from, I believe, from the wall there. But I've already picked that up. And then the only other thing in this hallway is the Zodiac puzzle, which is one of these. That one, I think. Okay, so that's where you get the Stone of Time after you do the puzzle. And I find it useful to go through and like memorize this, because eventually you can get the hang of it. It's a matter of remembering that the pink door from the main hallway sort of warps you, and that's confusing. Okay, so that door brings you back to the main hallway, and then there's the pink doors, which we have to open from the other side. But we'll get to that. So this is the second floor, actually, and it's shaped like an entire floor of Alchemilla Hospital. Now this is the Aeratron key room, where you would use the screwdriver. Other than that, there's the camera room here. And then if you have your back to the way that you came in, there's the other double doors that bring you to the other side of like the U shape of the entire hospital floor. See, that brings you to the main hall. And the straight ahead brings you to the other side, like a mirror image, L shape. There's a door on the left and the right, but you can't go through those ones. Lock is jammed. And then this is the jewelry shop, where you pick up the ring and, is it the Crest of Mercury? Anyway, you get 2 items in there. And the Ring of Contract. Can't go through that door, so we'll ignore it. The other door, not that one. And then this takes you to the elevator. Except I have the power off, so we'll ignore that. But that would, if you take the Haggith elevator to 2F, that will take you to the elevator I was just at. Or this warps us back down to 1F. So just remember, that's like the Midwich Elementary bathrooms that warp you from, 1 to 2F. So this is the kitchen. That's where we use the Ring of Contract before we take the dagger. This is the Bathor room, which is the generator, which we turn that off so we can use the screwdrivers and get the key of Eritron. And this is the graffiti room, where we see an apparition, and then there's the Ankh on the wall there, which I already took. This is the storage room, where you get the jelly beans key right there, and then this is the VCR room, where you can watch the videotape, because the VCR is old but usable. And that's all that's in there, besides some health items. And this is the Eritron key door, where you see a cutscene, Disc of Ouroboros, which was next to Alessa's picture before I took it. And then Alessa's room is on the other side. And of course that takes you to, once you put in all the items, takes you to the hallway where you see Dahlia and Alessa. And this is Dahlia's house, I suppose, but those 2 doors aren't accessible. And the steps just take you to the final area. And there's some interesting paintings on the wall and such. Here's a walk through walls code, because I didn't want to deal with enemies for making this video. So now I'm going to show you Haggith and what it does. The Haggith elevator, since I had to go to another save where the generator had not been turned off yet. Oh, fuck's sake, Harry. Okay, so 3, that takes you to the attic. Well, I call it the attic, it's 3F, we'll say. We see an Alessa apparition. We use the camera on the paintings, and then that gives you the codes for the doors, for the input pads. And there are 2 different doors here to open, and this one has a health drink, but then it has a memo, on White Claudia memo. This video is sponsored by DX Health Drink. get you some. And then on the opposite end of the hallway is another room with a birdcage key, which then you take that down to 1F to get the Phaleg key. And that's all we have to do on 3F. However, we can take this to 2F, and that will warp you to, well, it's not a warp this time, but it will take you to 2F. At the end of the hallway. This will be the jewelry shop once again, so I'm just trying to make sense of this for you. Jewelry shop. Okay, that would back to the elevator. This will take you to the mirror image L-shaped thing. And this would normally take you to the steps if we were in the hospital, but since we're nowhere, that warps you down to 1F. And that elevator doesn't work anymore. So I'll put these maps up for download and use. If you find that useful, it's I was meaning to go through and redo these maps, so I figured I would do a video as well. So thanks for watching, and we have more things on the Etsy shop, like the Silent Hill 3 mascot stickers now, and you can support the site via Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And cheers, thanks for watching. Goodbye friends, and thanks for watching.